AI is just another tool. Isn't AI just like human competition? Shouldn't AI be helping artists? AI essentially makes it possible for me to be competing with myself. I'd be in a constant race against my AI shadow. That is not fair in any way, and it's not healthy for art as a communication. While I do think that there is value in art that has been suffered for, as it adds meaning to the art, I think it makes the art say something. But I also value tools, because they make expression accessible. I wouldn't be making digital paintings without a tablet. I also wouldn't be drawing in the first place if I didn't have arms and legs. Tools are necessary to allow all people to use art to communicate, because their perspectives are valid. Art is a form of communication, when it's not pure entertainment or stimulus, when it has something deeper to say that comes from the artist's lives. For me, my art is a survival mechanism. I was raised to show my emotions with anything but my mouth, and expressing myself the natural way became less and less socially accepted. I can exclusively express how I feel through art. I need art. It's not just a hobby for me, but I understand not everyone sees it that way. Some just see it as a psyop to make money. Some just see their creative endeavors as entertainment, not art.
And what you want to be. Like, I don't see myself as an artist. I see myself as an entertainer, and I love entertainment, and I love to entertain, and I think, and I consume entertainment, and entertainment makes me feel sane.
For them, it isn't so threatening to their life and their identity to have their ability to be seen challenged. I don't specialize in one art medium, but I have the most experience with drawing. I have basic on-hand experience with Blender 3D visuals, animation, sculpting, digital and physical painting. The point is, I have worked with a lot of art mediums. What drives me to work through the hours of confusion and frustration and regret of thrusting myself into a new program or art medium and start over at the bottom of the skill level is the desire to see my imagination in front of me. Making art is not the fun part. A quote that perfectly describes the feeling is, I like to have made art. I like when it's all done and behind me. It's inherently a delayed gratification. It takes time. But people want to use that relatable stage of frustration as pathos to persuade casuals into accepting AI art. And it works. It is working. On February 10th, 1 p.m., I saw this and immediately felt like talking about this subject. The UK is in on it. This propaganda is starting to have real-world consequences for real artists, and it's getting harder and harder to reverse these consequences, especially now that we are going against world powers and not just public opinion. Why is AI art a threat to my identity and my life? Shouldn't it be of great help for what I intend to do? As for me personally, the way AI works right now, it is useless to me. The more specific you get with your requests, the more confused and clumsy the product becomes. AI only makes things it has seen before. I could train it on the stuff I make, and then ask it to just autofill with my style. But then you really have to baby it, and you end up having to do everything yourself anyway. It would have been faster to just do it yourself, instead of babysitting the AI through hundreds of iterations. But that's a shortcoming of AI in the present. Let's look at the trajectory of this thing. What about the day when it gets smarter? It surpasses humans in memory and in processing power. It gets really good at logic and visual logic. It understands rather than predicts, and babysitting is reduced to a minimum. Would I be using it then? AI art isn't actually helping artists. Prompt engineers are infiltrating art competitions and winning against honest artists. There's also artists whose work is being traced over by AI and reposted. Artists who make an honest living off of commissions who don't get clients like they used to because they are competing with AI generators. Concept artists are being replaced with AI. Voice actors are being replaced as well. Even if I was using the AI in the most ethical way, by training it on my own art that I worked to perfect the style for, kinda like that Corridor Crew video, there is nothing stopping a company who doesn't care about identity from training their own bot on my art and mass producing it. Anything I do to maintain an identity as an artist Anything I do to set myself apart, someone else can copy it and do it faster than me. AI essentially makes it possible for me to be competing with myself. I'd be in a constant race against my AI shadow. That is not fair in any way, and it's not healthy for art as a communication. You might say, there's always been plagiarism. Isn't that just like human competition? Yes, there's always been competition, but there has always been obvious tells that the copy is a cheap imitation, inferior compared to the original. And it has been that way except for this exact point in history. AI has the ability to generate perfect copies, and it is only getting better at it. How can you make a visual identity for yourself if anyone can copy and mass produce it? Especially any company with much more manpower and computing power than you. Half the work of art is branding and marketing. If you are drowned out by competing with yourself, it'll be hard to be seen. No one is stopping you from making art, but you're being stopped from being recognized and discovered. That's not good for the communication that art is supposed to be. Real art is supposed to say something. AI art that imitates real art has nothing to say, but it will look just like real art, and that's good enough for most people. It's not healthy for news, it's not healthy for criminal investigations, and we just keep pushing it. We keep trying to make AI indistinguishable from the truth. Soon it will be competing with the truth to become the truth. This could ruin the way we rely on all media for information. Evidence will be easily falsified by anyone with access to the technology. Video evidence will become unreliable. All because we just keep pushing and funding and propagating AI as the savior of the inconvenienced. The only well-intentioned uses of AI are in medical research, like in fighting cancer and replacing inhumane labor. One of those jobs I simply can't wait for AI to replace is those found in offshore oil rigs. My favorite horror story is the one where the workers get sucked through a 5-inch hole due to water pressure. And AI is helping fight cancer by helping detect it very early, making it easier to fight, along with creating the accurate simulations of the way it develops, and simulations of chemical compounds that could help in fighting it. Those are some of the few things that AI can do that aren't actively crimes against humanity. The question of, is AI art bad, shouldn't be up in the air and ambiguous. It is and it should be resisted. I'm scared for Generation Alpha, and the way that they might relate to the propaganda of the AI manipulators as they receive the technology with open arms, since they lack the experience to see and use art as authentic expression and communication. They'll just see the money signs and fall in line, and then that generation will vote, and then they will make laws, and AI will have no resistance left. Don't stay silent about AI. You think it'll fix itself and new laws will magically appear, but they won't. Talk about the limits that should be placed on AI. Advocate for laws to enforce those limits, but stay respectful. Just because someone supports AI doesn't mean you know the exact type of person they are. You don't know what they think, so let them make their points first and then argue with them. It needs to be said, unfortunately. If AI discourse becomes annoying, we'll only achieve apathy from public opinion. Don't get annoying about it. Be sneaky about it.
It's like, it was more than just actual screaming, if you notice. Zim screams a lot just when he's talking. It's like, Grr! It's never like, Grr.
You, I love you.